We'll talk about it, but let me just read the scripture in the book of Psalms 139. And I'm going to read this one verse, verse 14, which reads as follows: I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. Oh my goodness, what a scripture, what a scripture, what a scripture that, King David have just said here. And it's amazing because how the Lord have helped me in this one. I remember, I grew up myself, from this family that doesn't have father, and to coach me on other things and so on and so on. And in the rural areas where we play together with some kids as well. And you hear a lot because as kids growing up, there is just a lot of things that comes up. Any kids can say any word to you, and that's how we grow up as children. And I remember because I was so skinny, you know, and kids will make jokes about me, that you are skinny, dogs will bark on you, you are sick, or you will die sooner, and so on. And this thing escalated to a point where even the elder people would even call me by such names. And it's funny because it comes to a point where I would also hear this even from my family, side, and says, you're not eating good food, or you're not eating enough, eat well so that you gain, you know. And I can tell you, I really didn't have anyone to talk to, but this becomes a prison to me. This becomes uh, uh, a pain in my heart. I felt damned. I felt being lonely. Uh, 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 and I begins to hate people, like really hate people. And the hatreds, begins to grow in me. And I become that child that grows, in that environment. And I remember, even when I was doing secondary level, you know, the choices of clothes that I will have to buy, they would also has to be aligned with those lines, because I have now to start to cover my body. And it was really a painful things in my life, because I would have to cover my arms, because um, they were so skinny. I will have to cover my arms, so which means I will have to buy a long shirts, um, and the long t-shirts. So those were the preferable things that I should. But it was very tough again, because most of the clothes that I will have to wear, they were clothes that I received from other people. And when you're getting something from someone, you don't choose. They give you what they have for you. And when it comes to the pants here, so I didn't want to wear the shorts. I think the last time when I was wearing shorts was when I was really, really young, as a teenager, where I could not control some of the other things, and but I would try to run away from the shorts when I was still very young. But then now, when before I get to the youth and so on and so on, this is when in the secondary level, before I complete high school. So I was wearing only long trousers, hiding my thighs, hiding my feet, go down there to the foot, because people were saying they're so skinny. And this makes me to not to be involved in so many things. And I remember I used to love street soccer and things like that. We'll go to play soccer, say in some playground and so on and so on. So I could not really join those and really enjoy myself. But people, they don't know about that. But it was my personal things because of the words or how people judges me, how people says about me. you know and I graduated high school. I went and work, and I was in Johannesburg. And I remember that it was the year 2000 when I started working. And that thing escalated. You see, when I arrived in Gauteng, now I'm meeting people that I don't know. But the seed of knowing that I am skinny and I cannot be accepted, and this is not the right body that a human being must have. So I'm battling with this mindset. I'm battling with this seed that I've received, from the community, from the families, from the colleagues, not colleagues, from the schoolmates, and so on and so on. And then now it's yeah, I started working, and I was buying those kind of clothes. And I remember my wife, even today, actually, she's always saying to me that, hey, Daddy, you know what, you used to wear a very nice clothes, and you were always formal and so on. And I tried to explain, to convince her. I said, baby, yes, but now these things is different now. I am wearing clothes that I love, the clothes that I like now. But during that time, it's not because I love to wear formal all the time. I used to wear formal all the time when I meet her. I was really a brother that is on the formal, but she didn't know what makes me to wear formal. So I was wearing formal because I was trying to hide my body, my shoulder here. I remember other people will, make fun of me, especially this part here, because you could see the bones around here, things like that. Um, and I was wearing these clothes to hide such things. I lived a very stressful life, growing up. It comes to a point where I remember when I was working in this family. I was a domestic worker. And one day, because my boss used to jog a lot, early in the morning, it's either I meet her going out, or it's either I meet her coming in. And he said to me, and said, Mashidu, I would love to have your body. You've got a very wonderful body ever. When you see us running and try to exercise, we want to get to your body. We want your body. That's a very nice body to have, because you can be able to control yourself. It's you can be able to control that body. It's very flexible. And I thought I was dreaming. I thought because I've never had such for the rest of my life. I've never had such for the rest of my life. It took sometimes almost even a year to digest that, to accept what she was saying to me. And I can tell you, I remember one day where I have to try now to put certain to put shorts and so on. I was staying in Deep Sloot, and I put shorts, and I walked on the street, and it was painful, because everyone who could look or faces his face towards me, and I thought they were looking at how skinny I am. I was not comfortable at all. I was trying to hide things. I, I could not even stand still when I have to buy something on the street. And it took time for me to accept that the body I have, it is best for me. That God, created me by his own image. That God loved me as I am. That I must enjoy how God have blessed me, how God have made me. It took me for some times, for years actually. So I want to say to you that do not allow people